Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
Oh my God, and this is episode 134.
My voice sounded really deep.
Can you act a little bit more excited about doing our show?
I'm Veronica.
Veronica.
My voice fell flat.
We got Kelly Johns on the show later on. How you gonna be coming in like that?
No, I'm excited for that. No, I totally am. It was like my voice got caught in my throat. It was totally flat.
No, it happens.
That was so bizarre.
That we had to start off with that vibe because that's Sarah McLachlan, and for just $7 a day, you could save this sick puppy.
Oh my God!
From hangovers.
See, that's why my voice fell flat, because I'm getting depressed by listening to our opening song.
All right, guys. Well, just another one of my favorite drinking songs, pre-game songs, Adia by Sarah McLachlan. Dude, you know I love that. You know, like Shania Twain.
I mean, I can't really, because I have pre-game to to Celine Dion, but that just feels, I don't know.
You saw how into it I was?
Huh?
You saw how into it I was?
You really were, but my thing is if I was drinking and listening to that to pregame, I'd want to just sit on the couch and drink away my sorrows. I wouldn't be hyped.
I have before. Sorry, I'm losing my voice too.
But I
now.
also have mental illness, and you don't. So.
Oh shit! What if my mental illness is not knowing I have one?
That could be it. Who's to say?
Shit just got deep. Okay, well, outside of my personal problems, like I mentioned earlier, today is a very special episode because the Bachelorette is back.
Yeah.
And we had to bring something else. We had to bring something else back. We brought on our guest Kelly Johns, who will be talking about the Bachelor with us later on in the show. So we got a lot of Bachelorette talk going on later. But yeah, how have you been, V?
You know, I've been decent. I got to catch up with my hometown friends this past weekend. We did a big Zoom call, and it was a lot of fun because a couple of them one of them got married, and then her twin sister got engaged. One of my other friends that's part of that group got a new boyfriend recently. One of the other ones is, in her process of planning her wedding. A lot of love related things, and I'm just out here. I was out there. I was out there sipping my margarita. I was like, yep. Mm-hmm. That's right, ladies. Don't worry.
They save the best ones for last.
That's what they say, yeah.
But that's good. That's good. Anything else go on?
Yeah, I hung out with Taylor Marie and Ray and Knip on Saturday. We were trying to do a baby Beltline bar crawl of sorts, hitting up all the patios. We went to, we started at Kroger. We got some cheap, because
I love drinking at Kroger.
Yeah, the fancy Kroger. You can, you can go and order some beers, and you can sit on their patio and drink their beers, and it's cheap. And then we went from there to New Realm, and then we went from there to Victory, but then that's when it started to torrentially downpour, and so we had to skedaddle.
That's why I couldn't meet up with you, because I was watching football with Caleb. I was around while everyone else was watching football, but
I was about to say, I'm you posted a story and you're sports, and I'm like, you don't even deserve to be watching football on a screen this big.
Yeah, there's 3 screens, but yeah, I wanted to meet up with you guys, but it was just I had to ride my bike home in that rain, and I was so freaking wet. It was ridiculous.
It was kind of crazy weather here in Atlanta this past week, and it was technically Atlanta's Pride Weekend this past weekend, but with COVID and everything, any official Pride stuff was technically canceled. There's people, I think, gathering and doing kind of unofficial stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Monday night I had a girls' wine night with our friends Rachel, Alexa, and Maggie, and Rachel's roommate, and it was a fun time catching up with some of my ladies and talking about some girl stuff.
I love them. Yeah, that's cool. I just produced more music this weekend. I'm very excited. I show you like a new song every week now. It's pretty fun.
I know, it is fun.
So yeah, just been really focused on that. Plus the weather was kind of shitty, so I didn't do that much. But anyways, why don't we get into a little news segment that I almost skipped right over it.
Again.
V, what are you watching?
All right, what am I watching? This past weekend, from, when we go every week and do this, I didn't watch a lot besides The Bachelorette, but I've been watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians because it's one of my favorite trash television shows, and it's been interesting watching these episodes of this new season right now because they were all filmed, like this season's going to get into them in quarantine and things, but the couple of episodes that have aired so far have been like right at the beginning, like right before shit started hitting the fan here in the US. So it's like still like end of February, early March. And it's really interesting to where we are now, look back at like seeing like them traveling to Paris to do Paris Fashion Week, them like going like doing like even seeing Kris Jenner like totally like clean their entire giant ass Palm Springs house for them to do a big family vacay together, and just like all the stuff that's gonna continue to happen, and just seeing them like go to like a fucking drag show, like going all out and doing these things, and I'm like, wow, like this seems so far ago, but it wasn't, like, because this is when they were filming. So that's what I watch. And then I have to really recommend, especially in these times where maybe you're just hanging out with a couple of pals in someone's apartment and you're drinking, having a good time, whatever, Power Hour videos. Top notch, because they will we listened to one that we watched one that was that was Guilty Pleasures Power Hour. So it had a bunch of like, your favorite kind of like sticky pop hits. And some of them I was like, I'm not really guilty about this one. Like, this is a great song. I don't feel bad about it at all. But it's fun because like you see like bits of these like music videos, especially if like they're older. It's a nice little fun throwback.
Some might consider us their guilty pleasure.
Oh.
Well, that got deep too. Well, I think I'm gonna use this sound effect as our new what are you watching sound. So it's gonna be like, what are you watching?
I don't know how I feel about that. We'll figure it out.
I mean, it's better than me just being like, what are you watching? I just feel like it builds
up to
it.
What are those? We need to get that.
What are those that you're watching? I started and I finished The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Okay.
It's the follow-up season to The Haunting of Hill House, the anthology series. I guess it's the Haunting anthology series, but it was pretty crazy.
So I haven't watched Haunting of Hill House yet. What? So I have not watched Haunting of Bly Manor because I'm a scaredy cat. I have to watch it like I have to do a palate cleanser because my brain, I'm too over, like I get the worst like night terrors and stuff like that. So I have to like really like plan ahead. If I'm going to watch this kind of stuff, I have to do it in the best situations to make sure that I'm not like going to stay up all night. But did you think Bly Manor was more or less scary, and why?
Good question. Well, this is the problem with Netflix shows. Two problems. When they put out a show, I feel like it takes like a really long time for them to come out with another season. So by the time like I have to like do a recap. Like if I watch a YouTube recap of like last season, but I don't know. Like it's not like that much that it's scary. It's just really like it's a haunting tale. Like it's just like a story, like a scary story, like a ghost story. So I mean, it's more. I don't know what to say. I like this season. What I do like about the show and what I do like about shows that do this, it's like This Is Us. It's like they have a storyline, but like they always go back to older things that like affected like where people are now. So they do a really good job of like, going back and explaining these storylines and stuff. But I think it's a good watch. It's very interesting. There's like, you know, elements of, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just freaking crazy. Like, the shows that are coming out these days is just insane. You know what I started watching actually, on Saturday mornings? Like, Facebook has been really good at curating videos for me to watch.
Videos, yeah.
So I spent like an hour the other day just watching new shows coming out on Netflix and all these different like digital streaming platforms. They got so many crazy good shows coming out, like it's insane.
Yeah.
And so when I saw the Haunting of Bly Manor come out, like there's nothing like you getting on a Friday or Saturday and turning on, you know, Netflix and seeing like something fresh, and you're like, hell yeah,
like seeing a like new, like or whatever. Yeah.
I don't have to worry about what I'm watching for the next 3 days, like, you know. So
I feel like there is a movie on Netflix that I've been wanting to watch that I need to. So hopefully that will be on next week's What Are We Watching?
I also watched this past week how Stella got her groove back.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Yeah, it was. It's a pretty good movie, so check it out if you haven't. But now that we've told you guys what we're watching, why don't we get into crickets? V,
you start us off because you just put it on there.
Yeah, I just thought of it. Another thing that I watched this weekend was Saturday Night Live. They had Bill Burr on there, and he did. I think he did great. You know, it was a controversial, I guess, monologue that he did. I don't know if you had seen it or heard about it or not. Have you?
I have not. No, but like, who was it? Morgan Wallen, his the musical guest or not?
Oh no. Is he a country artist?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to do the show, but I guess he messed up by doing a concert, and they were like, nah, dude.
Oh, there's all this shit that's been happening with him because like supposedly like he's been out partying with like girls who go to school in Bama, and like he's been like known for doing like all these big concerts and stuff like right now, like when there's COVID, and like he's like, there's like, I see the TikToks, which I don't get. I guess if girls are gonna like, you know, country clout chase, they're gonna country clout chase, but he's not attractive.
Yeah.
But like he like supposedly was like cheating on his girlfriend with like all these like Alabama girls, like going to all these parties with them and like all this stuff. So
they had a great replacement for him, Jack White. So
what that is like.
Dude,
hang on, we got Jack White in our back pocket.
Jack White is so good. Like, it's crazy. Like, I watched it and I just wanted to send. I'm like, dude, you guys got to watch Jack White on Saturday Night Live. So, you know, I'm not huge on like the skits part of it that much these days, but you know, I think Saturday Night Live has a good formula as far as like, you know, getting a popping guest, getting a popping artist, music, and then, you know, Weekend Update kind of breaks it up. So, yeah,
and it was also, you're not into the skits part. That's like the whole point of the show.
I know, but I just feel like, I don't know, the skits. It's like, first of all, I'm not like into the election and presidential skits. Like, that's the one thing that I actually don't like about, but right now it's you know, election season, so and that's what they do in the beginning of the episodes. But it was cool to see Bill Burr on there because he was just in the movie, the Judd Apatow movie with Pete Davidson playing like his stepdad or whatever, so it was cool to see them working alongside each other. And it was an interesting episode. So I was wondering if you had seen the monologue, because he kind of goes at everybody. He goes like white women.
Explain what he did.
I mean, I probably wouldn't do it justice explaining it. But essentially, like, you know, he was just, I mean, Bill Burr is like a person that just gets annoyed with everything. And like these times right now, like Bill Burr is probably just annoyed with every different like faction that's out there right now. So essentially, he was just going hard at like, I mean, he said something about like, I don't even know. You guys have to check it out. I don't want to like get into it right now because
interesting.
But I do want to know your thoughts if you check it out. What else we got for quick hits?
So, in controversial news, Sophia Franklin from the very much so discarded former co-host of Call Her Daddy has finally come out with her own podcast called Sophia with an F. Obviously, it's not under Barstool. But she pretty much used her first episode to just yell at how Alex is so pathetic for using social media and editing hours to measure how much work she did, which I'm like, how else are you supposed to measure that? And then, yelling about Dave and all of them, very much so like putting all the blame off herself. Do I think Alex or, or Sophia are great humans, or did they really handle that whole situation the right way in the first place? No. I don't really think so at all. I think, Alex found out what she needed to do, and I think Sophia was definitely a little bit more driven by her boyfriend. And Dave wasn't going to say anything at all, but then he posted a video to his Instagram pretty much being like, yeah, they're kind of both being fuck-ups for a while. They weren't working, they weren't whatever. And he's like, Alex was able to meet with me and, figure that all out, which we've talked about in previous episodes. So it'll be interesting to see if Sophia will be able to hold down her own podcast for as long as, I don't know how long she can, just because I try to Call Her Daddy a try a little bit more recently when it's just been Alex, especially because they had the Miley Cyrus episode and a couple of this one comedian Hannah Berner on there that I like a lot. But they're like my same age, and I just feel like so much older than them. They just sound so dumb to me. So
I just don't like,
and so toxic and unhealthy with how they approach relationships,
sure.
And that's just like not my bag.
I honestly, I follow Alex, and it's just like she is like super annoying. I mean, I think what she has going for her is like the whole daddy gang stuff. She's essentially telling teenagers like how to give blowjobs, which does make her look stupid when she's like alongside anybody else that's not just as dumb as her. That's what made her and Sophia so great together. It's like she doesn't sound that bad when there's just an equally as dumb girl standing right there next to her, kind of like,
I know, because when Alex has brought on other guests, so when I've listened to a couple of these more recent Call Her Daddy episodes, and she's brought on other guests, even when she brought on Miley Cyrus, she was saying stuff to Miley, and you could tell and Miley was saying all this different stuff, and you could tell Alex wasn't getting half the stuff that Miley was saying. Other people, she's always been wait, what do you mean, blah blah blah. She literally, I'm like, sis, are you really are you not all there? Is that really how you think? I don't know, but it will be interesting to see if that will.
I mean, I just think it's hard for women, because especially when they go down that road of being very open about their sexuality and all that stuff. There's a comedian, Nikki Glazer or whatever.
I love her. I love Nikki Glazer.
Yeah, but she, she's got pretty raunchy. She's always talking about sex and stuff like that. But then I hear her on other podcasts outside of her own comedy and all that stuff, and she just sounds depressed. She's always constant. She doesn't know anything about love. She's like, I talk about all this sex stuff, but I'm not a sex she's not a sex expert or anything like that, just because she talks about people think she's great in bed, and she's proud. I mean, she says she is, but it's not she's proclaiming to be the best or something. So it's it kind of puts you in this box, and I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic. I think Sophia's podcast will do fine as long as she kind of keeps up with the same themes. And if she goes a more mature route, I think she might end up on top. I don't know how long Call Her Daddy could actually last.
I don't know. Call Her Daddy has the backing of Barstool right now, which has allowed them to get people like Miley Cyrus and a lot of other they got Olivia O'Brien, they got a couple of these porn stars and stuff to come on, and so they have a little bit more leverage. I don't know how Sophia can top that right now. She'll have to kind of get that leverage of good guest. That's the thing. It's you got to get the leverage of good guests. I don't think she needs a good
guest. I think she just needs a good co-host. I mean, we don't have guests sometimes, and we rock it.
Well, yeah.
So I think that's kind of where Alex is falling off. Is that I don't think she can lead the show. I don't know. But
no,
anyways.
yeah. When I've tried to listen to ones that are just her on it, I can't do it. So
she just has an annoying, she's always super
They both
excited.
have annoying voices. Yeah, they both. It's so bad. And I hate to say that about women, but they do.
I mean, I would say it about a guy too if you sound like that. Well, speaking of podcasts and Barstool, what other news we got?
So Dave Portnoy is starting a podcast with known TikToker, or Dick Waggler, as he likes to call them, Dick Wiggler, Josh Richards. He's from the Sway House, and they're calling it the BFFs podcast. And it's really it's about them combining their wildly different audiences and how they can, be a teenager in in LA doing TikTok and a media mogul in NYC and now Philly. It's a very strange pairing, I'll be honest. It's very bizarre to me.
Do you think, like, who is their target audience? Like teenage boys?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Teenage girls?
Probably. Yeah, probably. Like, I mean, it's whoever the Barstool audience is. So that's like mostly like teenage, college age, young professional men is mostly that. And like, I feel like it's just kind of like their typical like buddy bullshit kind of.
I just think it's a smart.
stuff.
I think Dave Portnoy is smart about, like, he's thinking about the future, like, you know, building these young kids up, you know, getting that audience, getting him to eventually get a younger person and get their audience. It's just smart to get with the young people.
Oh yeah, he you know, he makes fun of TikTok, but he knows like that this is the thing for him to do, is to grab someone who's high up in the TikTok world to like help him get that those people into his audience. I mean, it's just basic smart comedy stuff.
What else we got?
But next up is Ariana Grande posted to her social media that she will be releasing new music this month, October.
Oh, wow.
Soon.
Spoopy season.
So, spoopy season. So, you know, people are buzzing. We haven't heard music from Ari in, I guess, the last time you heard music from her was Stuck With You with Justin Bieber. And that was earlier, like that was probably like, what was that? Maybe March, April of quarantine. So it'll be interesting to see what her next vibe of her music will be like.
Also, like outside of like any of the Pete Davidson like drama now, it's going to be cool to see that. And also I think she's like aiming to get like a Halloween hit, you know, something to play at those Halloween parties or Halloween weekend, you know?
Exactly. Yes. Hopefully, maybe we'll be bopping to some Ari for when we're in Savannah. Who's to say?
What other news we got, V?
So you know, it's fully election season. Early voting has started here in Georgia. It's started in a lot of other places. My man's Michael B. Jordan posted a thirst trap. And with it caption, it was like just showed his upper chest and him biting his lip, and it said like "Go vote." And I mean, not like I wasn't already, but that helped push me over the edge. It's been a theme with a lot of celebrities that they've been posting thirst traps with like, you know, voting information as the caption or whatever, being like, now that I got you here, like whatever, make sure you register to vote, make sure this or that. And then Sterling K. Brown, who's in This Is Us, he posted, I think on Twitter, he's all like what you see, click here for more. And it was like him like in a sexy shirtless picture, and the link took you to like vote.org or whatever to like make sure you're like where you can find your polling place, whatever. So it's funny. I think it's like it's a cute little bit that
I like
celebrities
that
are doing right
over
now.
painting vote on yourself. Like I think Sterling Brown did it the right way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also, isn't it weird that everyone's just like getting okay with like being naked online now? Like, what world are we living in?
Yeah, we're living, yes, because we talked about it, like, you know, a couple episodes back when we talked about OnlyFans. Like, it's like, yeah, people are too comfortable. I think this quarantine has made us too comfortable with, like, our social media apps. We're just like, yeah, we're out here. Like, this is what you get. I'm like, I'm sorry, like, I still have my mom following me. I don't know. Like,
right, but go vote with your titties out. Well, that's what's up. My girl, we just talking about your boy, Michael B. Jordan. What are we talking about? My girl, Kristen Cavallari.
she was spotted in Chicago, kissing.
Wait.
On.
No. Wait. She was kissing who?
Comedian Jeff Dye.
Get it? Well, who the fuck is Jeff Dye?
I don't know. I've never heard of him.
Watch him be like on the next roast. Like, okay, I know who this guy is.
I don't know. He's cute. It's kind of funny. He has kind of like some similar features to Jay Cutler,
like
to
he's
be
an
honest.
Actor. Or no, what have I seen him in? Oh yeah, he is an actor. What was it? He was. I mean, he does a lot of Better late than never. I don't know, but I feel like I've seen him in different things before. But anyways, so what are they, a thing? Are they what are they doing?
Yeah, they seem to be like hanging out. They're all up, so she must be like back in Chicago area, maybe close to her mom, where her mom lives and stuff. But they seem to be like hanging out there together for like a weekend
he
or
used to be on
so.
Girl Code. That's probably where I've seen him before.
Oh, yeah, because he is a comedian, so that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see if that romance continues to spark. And
I really hope it doesn't.
You're like, where's my chance?
That's
Maybe
my
you should just
selfish way.
head up to Chicago and just like putz around like where her store is.
Yeah, because that's
and
not
just
creepy.
Be like, hey, girl.
Yeah, sounds like me. All right, what else we got? Anything else?
Yeah, Kanye is back. He's back on Instagram. He's making weird soundtracks to weird videos and putting them on Instagram. He's sharing stuff, but the main thing that he shared was that he shared this election results or polling results from Kentucky that put him ahead of Joe Biden and Donald Trump, which just everyone has like come out, like Kentucky and like everything like that, like the different powers that be in those spaces are like, these aren't accurate. But like, he's out here tweeting it. Like,
there's no way this crazy man thinks like he's actually gonna be president. Like his angle has to be just getting. He's using politics to advertise his brands. Like he's putting himself in the conversation of election just to be like in that platform for more eyes and ears. I feel like, because like what the hell. Like people, dude, you're not gonna be president. Like they have presidential debates right now on TV, and you're not on it. Like, get over it.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, you gotta. I don't know. I mean, Kim needs to like, I don't know, get him under lock and key because he's just making a fool of himself. I don't know. He did this whole video. He's like, West Wing, get ready, like we're coming. Because like he's acting like he's gonna win.
Cool. His next album should be called The West Wing. That'd be fucking.
It should
sick.
be called that. If that's what he's doing right now, if that's like what really, but like this music, if that's what he's really doing, this music better be fucking popping. But at this point, I just worry about what's happening with him.
I don't know. I heard a snippet of him sampling Doo-Wop by Lauryn Hill, and it sounded pretty good, like old Kanye. So the man still makes fire music. V, anything make you go, yikes this week? Something that just made you go, yikes.
Yeah, this is like kind of a baby yikes. It's just, it's a laughable yikes because we've talked about how Demi and her now ex-fiance, Max, Eric, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, how they, broke up and how he was making it very much so you could tell that he was chasing for clout and the whole breakup and everything, and even probably leading up to them being engaged. But he was seen just like pacing and sulking all alone in like the exact spot where he proposed to her. And like, he was just like there, like sitting there, like he made a whole big deal about it. And to me, that's just yikesy because it's like, bro, like it's done. It's over. Like where nobody's finding this
entertaining. Or was it like paparazzi there?
Paparazzi posted it, but it was like very much so like he was like, it was very dramatic. He was like
the paparazzi's over there. Let me do this to get into news this week. Yeah, that's yikes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he already kind of went in like trying to get attention with the engagement. So I don't put it past that guy, but yikes, Max.
But let's get into the real meat of the show, Bachelorette.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome back a very special guest, Kelly Johns. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
If y'all remember Kelly Johns, she was on last episode was 122 she was on, so we're happy to have you back. How's everything been?
I'm great. I'm a married woman now.
Yeah, you were, you know, that's a huge thing that's changed in the last, like, what, 10 weeks since we talked to you? How's that married life treating you?
It's good. Honestly, it's not that much different. People always say that because we started living together in January. So it doesn't feel a whole lot different, but we are very, very happy. Our wedding was great. We had to do a very tiny wedding for COVID, and then we're going to have a big one next summer. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. They were beautiful. You guys looked awesome and everything. Yeah. I was wondering, what's post marriage like now with the COVID and everything? Like, did you guys, like, what's the honeymoon situation? Like, I mean, everyone's like, are they asking if you're gonna have babies like even quicker now because you're not going out and stuff? Is it all those
we
things?
haven't really gotten the baby questions, but we did go on, we called it a mini moon. We went to Hilton Head for just 3 days.
Oh, cool.
Stayed at an Airbnb, so we weren't like in a hotel with other people, and just hung out on the beach. And then we pushed our big Costa Rica trip to after our big wedding next June because Costa Rica was basically closed.
Right. So. That was the last trip I actually had planned right before like everything hit too. So I had my Costa Rica trip is just gone, dust in the wind. But but yeah, we wanted to have you back on the show because not only do we love you, but Bachelorette's back. It's back, baby.
It's back.
Yeah.
Finally.
We've been seeing a lot of the changes that the show has been making because of like COVID and everything, and it was really interesting to see the first episode play out. So today we're just going to talk about all the fun stuff that happened in the first episode of Bachelorette this season. So Veronica, where do we start? Like, where do we start with this? Where were you? Where were you guys when this started?
Where were you? So to start, like what you were saying, they definitely, you could tell they put a big emphasis on COVID and how that affected the show and how that affected, Claire and everything like that. There was I think it was probably like the first 20 minutes of the show was, them showing
40.
Claire's 40? Did
40,
you tie?
I was so annoyed. I looked at my phone and it was 8:38 and I was like, they're still on COVID.
Yeah.
See, okay, yeah, exactly. It was nuts. It was mostly, which I get why. I get why, like from a network and, company standpoint, they wanted to like really emphasize how like they did everything they could to like keep stuff safe and how they had to change everything. But also part of it was they talked about, Claire's journey, which I honestly forgot how many Bachelor franchise shows that she's been on.
Yeah, they didn't even put all of them on there.
They didn't even put all of them on there.
They didn't talk about her already being engaged before and stuff too.
That was for Benoit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Benoit.
Benoit, man. I don't like Benoit a little bit.
Benoit.
Benoit. I was like, wait.
Yeah, of course, the person that you speak what, more than Spanish, or is it just Spanish that you speak?
No,
I was gonna say
just
like
English and Spanish.
Okay, you're like fact checking Veronica on her French, so that's pretty cool.
Well, I just remembered.
I fact checked myself. I came out of my mouth, and then I was like, that's not what I meant to say. I knew how to say it, but like I read it in my brain, and I was like, that ain't it.
But yeah, I did notice that. I was waiting for them because there was like probably 2 more seasons that they didn't show her on. And it was just really weird too. Like I felt like maybe they had trouble putting that first episode together, just the setup and all that, because like I know they usually have the montages where like they're like standing there and talking about like they're looking for love and stuff, but the way she was just kind of just smoldering off into like the distance underneath like a pier bridge, I'm like, or whatever, like I don't know, it was just really weird to me. I'm just like, this is awkward. It's like she's like posing, and the way she be strutting around and stuff, I feel like she's so on right now. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I was like, can we please get to The Bachelorette? We understand you've been safe. I do agree, like they had to point that out, but I think they could have pointed it out in 5 minutes or less. Like we tested everybody, we're in a bubble at the resort, and we did everything we could to be safe. Let's start the show.
Yeah,
but
I mean, as far as when the show started, though, I was pretty impressed with like it still looked like the Bachelor Mansion when they're all pulling up and stuff. Like they did a good job of like dressing up whatever hotel that was to look like the mansion. But where do we go from here, V?
So finally, they show, they had, I wish anytime I took a COVID test, Chris Harrison would knock on my door and be like, hey, you're clear.
It's like, and then like, the three words that every girl wants to hear. You're COVID negative.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But they showed all of them coming in, and then they started doing limos like they always do. And as you said, it looked very much so, Chris Harrison was like, I'm not even in LA. We're not at the mansion. We're somewhere different. And we're like, we get it. We get it, buddy. But they all came in. I've said this before on this show, but Limo's episode is like my least favorite because to me, it's just like blah. Like there's always the different kinds of costumes or cheesy lines or things. This time there was like, a couple of people bringing snacks, which I think anyone can appreciate. There was some popcorn, there was some moon pies.
I mean, so like, we don't have to go through because, Kelly is going to be doing her video later on, and we're going to get like, later on, I'm sure we're going to get every single description of our characters, right, Kelly? That's what you do.
Most of them.
Yeah.
The most important, the ones that stood out.
Yeah.
Because I can't do 30 of them.
Well, since we're talking about it right now, like which ones stood out to you? Like which one stood out bad and which one stood out good, you think?
So the easiest to poke fun at would be the straight jacket guy.
Yes.
I feel like he stayed in character the whole night.
Dedication.
It got him the rose, though. Sure. That's what's up.
Like, how did he accept his rose? He didn't have any hands. Of course, I loved Dale. I mean, come on.
Who can't?
All right, I do want to say something about Dale. Actually, last night I had a fun night, and one of my buddies ended up crashing here. So in the morning, I didn't end up getting to watch it like I wanted to last night. So I had to watch it this morning, and he doesn't watch The Bachelor, so he's like, "Oh man!" But as we're watching it and stuff, he was like, it was weird watching it with a guy that doesn't watch The Bachelor because like it's rare for me. But the way he was looking at it, he was like, none of these guys are like going in for like the pelvic hug, and it wasn't until like Dale came through with the pelvic hug. He was like, yo, he did the pelvic hug. I'm like, dude, you're onto something actually, dude. Cause he doesn't know that he goes far and stuff. Like I was like, this is a weird like thing that I noticed and stuff, but it was also funny. He was calling all of them cucks. I was like, this is hilarious.
And I've never heard a pelvic hug.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, that really, like, when you go to hug someone, it's either, like, the back pad or, like, the one arm. But if you go in for, like, the pelvic, that's, like, a lower, like, almost above your booty.
I would just say the hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't coin the term. But yeah, so, like, Dale came in, I mean, the thing about the Dale entrance, though, this is the dude she ends up, like, saying that's going to be her husband, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like, the thing about him is that, like, what was kind of annoying about it is I feel like they had already been talking, like, or something. They acted like they never met each other before. That's the rumor. Yeah.
Yeah, people think that. But then when she talked to that Blake M guy, there's two Blake M's. Blake M number one.
Blake
Yes, with the beard. Mm-hmm. She was like, hey, thank you so much for reaching out to me, even though you broke the rules. You were the only guy that reached out. And I really appreciate that you cared about me or whatever. So when she said that.
If she never said that, though, we wouldn't have known that he broke the rules, right?
Right. But that makes me think that she really didn't talk to Dale.
Yeah. Maybe it was also a thing where, like, maybe they didn't talk, but, like, they were, like, she was already, like, out of all these guys, this is the one I'm picking. Like, like,
I mean, if she saw his Instagram, which she probably stalked all of them on Instagram while in quarantine. Clearly, she saw his beautiful modeling shots.
I mean, Kelly. I mean, I know you're married now, but if like Chris Harrison came and laid like 31 guys down like in their pictures, like a mug shots and stuff, you would, and they were like, these are gonna be your suitors. One of these is gonna be your husband. You're gonna look at each of those pictures and already pick out like the ones from the pictures, right? So, I think that was pretty interesting. But what else like stood out to you from the entrances?
The tall drink of water man seemed really sweet. I was sad that he went home just because he was like so gentle. some of them I was like, oh, the scarf man. Like,
Harvard. He called it H-bomb. Like,
yes,
that's the douchiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Plus the Harvard plus the scarf, the combination rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I liked, what was his name? He wore the pink suit. Easy.
He's my second fave.
I really like him. He was funny how he was joking about like everyone bringing food. He's like, what is this, a potluck now? And he was just making fun of people, which is entertaining. Those stood out.
What about
to
the
me.
guy that crushed her hand?
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Like, she pulled off the ring and she's like, it looked like I was like bit by like a Yorkie or something, I think she said.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like how, like, and also like how unaware, he must have been so nervous that he was that unaware that he squeezed her arm so, like her hand so tight that he did that. Like, you have to be like, that's like a blackout moment. Like,
I think now, like, I if I were to ever do an entrance like that, I think I would have to practice like that entrance. Like, ask all my prettiest friends like to like stand and I come out of a door and I walk up to them with eye contact and don't shake my words and all that stuff, because like that's all the shit I'm looking for when these guys are like, I'm like, dude, I'd be so, and they are nervous. They're like, that's the first thing a lot of them say. They're like, I'm freaking nervous, but I don't know. What were you gonna say?
Sorry. Do y'all like, if you were the Bachelorette or the Bachelor and people came and did these extravagant, goofy things, would you like that, or would you prefer
that? Was exactly what I was about to say. I was going to say, I mean, I think Easy, or maybe it was Easy. Someone said something actually interesting that, like, I feel like that's not like husband material. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it might have been Easy.
Yeah, there might have been. There's the way of being like funny and jokes and stuff in a relationship and stuff. But like, this is the first time you're like introducing someone. You know, Dale had it right, dude. Come out smooth and just be like yourself and like, be direct.
Agreed.
And she. How do you guys feel about her saying that, like, I just met my husband? Like, what do you think? Like, even Chris Harrison had to come out and be like, yo, like, this is only the first episode, bitch. Like, slow down.
I also just love how he, like, came out of, like, the bushes. Like, where was he? Like, he literally, like,
on some Family Guy shit.
He's like, hey, wait, I heard you say this could be your husband? And like, she's like, yeah. And he's like, well, there's more limos coming, bitch. Like,
well, that's another thing that makes me think that she already had this all set out. Like, it's just like, I don't like how like rehearsed she kind of feels. Like, you know, it's.
So I think I've heard bachelorettes and bachelors in the past who say on night one, they already know who their top three are. Like, they can pretty much tell. Like, Rachel said that she knew right away she was super into Brian, like more than anyone else. And Caitlin basically said she knew Sean was going to be her pick on night one. So I think
Jojo has said something similarly too.
Well, they do
about
that. They for sure. I mean, that's like I'm saying, like that's what the first impression rose I feel like is for. But you know, I feel like they wouldn't have a show then. Like I feel like rule number one to being the Bachelor or Bachelorette is like, do not say who you like the most right off the bat. Like, you know,
but I think that's just what makes her different is she wasn't able to kind of fake it. Like, I feel like a lot of the other leads really do have to just stick to their contract and pretend to be so into multiple people when really they like are only into two or three.
What would you guys think if they did a season where like kind of what they probably are going to have to do this season, but like what if like people did come in and like they had maybe a time limit they had to like wait, but like if they did find someone, they would bring in like a new bachelorette, you know, to finish off. Like maybe you would have 2 or 3 depending on how many people are falling in love. But because I don't know.
Sounds kind of like Paradise, honestly.
Right, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's it. But I don't know. It just seems like weird. I feel bad for like the guys. Like it's just knowing that she already like likes this one dude. But let's get back into so we had all the entrances and everything, but let's get into the house. Like where do things really start like bubbling up when like everyone gets introduced and back in the house? Like you guys.
So there is the main I call it a baby beef because it seems like it wasn't even that much, but Tyler C., who's from West Virginia, his entrance was in a station wagon.
I thought he was so corny. I thought that was so corny.
Like, it was so corny. And also,
I love the
he's
nickname
got
for him, Minnie McConaughey.
What?
Yeah.
Was it his nickname, Minnie McConaughey, he called him?
Yeah, because of his voice.
He sounds like Matthew McConaughey.
I know, but that's like not even the right accent. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it was funny. It was close enough for me.
Plus, he also has big shoes to fill as a Tyler C. Like, no one's topping Tyler Cameron. You just can't. You can't be a Tyler C anymore. Like, I think you got to just, like, hang that in the rafters.
Well,
but
this was another, I mean, to talk about, I guess we're kind of jumping ahead, but I don't really care about the timeline of this. I think looking at that fight, it's a theme that I've had before, I've talked about before in the past about people just getting into other people's business, and this shit backfired on him heavy. Like, you know, it's the dumbest thing. Like, you have like some girl in your hometown tell you that he's like sliding. I didn't even understand what like the issue was. Like, it's like
so what was presented was that Tyler C said that Yosef that he knows someone from his hometown in West Virginia, this girl who reached out to him saying that Yosef was sliding into his DMs. And so during, like, I think the quarantine period, I think is when that was happening. And so and then, you know, Tyler went to go, like, confront Yosef to be like, hey, like, I know we're all supposed to be here for Claire. Like, I'm just making sure, like, you're in the right mind frame, like, whatever. And Yosef's answer was just like, I don't remember doing that, which is not really the best answer.
But also, what's wrong with talking to girls on Instagram?
Exactly. It's like a weird. It's definitely
Kelly,
like it's like
boom.
It's like it gets nitpicky to be like, okay, are we gonna, especially in such a unprecedented time where like they had that big chunk of time where they weren't even sure when they were gonna start filming or anything, and like they were all like chilling at home, like. I'm sure that whole period of time is very fuzzy.
He looked like a fuckboy though, like straight up. Like there's no way around that. He like it's gonna come out. Like obviously, like in next episode or the episode after, like he'll eventually go home for fighting with her, right? Is that what it looked like? Like
probably.
She was like
it
that.
looks like he's the one that yells that she's 39 or whatever.
The oldest bachelorette.
I think that he's the one. But yeah, I thought that the argument was so stupid because Tyler, first of all, stop being named Tyler C. It's not allowed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like maybe I think it was very highly producer like driven. Enticed. So I feel like he was like, yeah, Yosef, blah, blah, blah. And the producer's like, you have to talk to him about that. Claire needs to know, but talk to him first or whatever. So he does. Yosef's like, whatever. And I don't see, I'm not a Yosef fan.
I think it was good that Yosef took the initiative to do that. Because anyways, it was going to just burn up. It was going to spread through the guys, and then more guys were going to go. Yep. And I mean, he did the best thing he could for that situation.
Yeah, I wish she would have sent them both home.
Right.
But I think producers told her to keep Yosef for drama.
I feel like Yosef is a producer plant for sure.
I really didn't think that Tyler would go home for that, but I'm kind of glad he did because he looked like a punk bitch. Like I was like, yo, dude, snitches get stitches. Get out of here.
But then also, like, I feel like Yosef also snitched on Tyler snitching. So I don't even. That's why I'm like, both of them should have went home. They both kind of handled it stupidly. But like, Claire was the winner of handling in this situation because she was just like, let's bring you guys together. Let's talk it out briefly. And then she was like, I have other people to talk to. Like, I'm not putting up with this bullshit.
Yeah, Kelly, as like a teacher, did that feel like a very teacher moment for her to do?
It did. And I think that showed her, not like showed her age, like she's old, but she does have a sense of maturity that's different than prior seasons, in my opinion, because I have never seen a lead immediately bring both people together. It's
that
always
was dope.
like,
she was like, we're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. So she's like,
and the thing is, when you do that, like it
bullshit.
ends up becoming, it sounds stupid. Like the whole thing, like she's like, you guys are stupid. Like you can't even tell me what's happening here. Like she's like, yo, I'm sure y'all are gonna talk shit, but I'm gonna go get talking to all these guys. So
exactly. So yeah, I like that. I feel like that's important to do. Like you said, me as a teacher, thankfully I don't really have issues at my school. We're so tiny, but like I was a nanny, like with toddlers, you gotta bring them both together.
Right.
Talk it out. Like it works at every age.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the he said, she said, and that's exactly what was gonna happen. That's always what happens in other seasons.
Yeah.
So I liked that she did that.
Yeah. So I mean, how did you guys look at Tyler like when he ended up going home? Because I felt like he was he had like good things going for him. He was a good looking guy. He seemed charming enough. It was just like this bullshit that he was like, I have this card in my back pocket. And it's like, I think it might have worked a little better later on if he had said something later on when like he already started showing signs of like some other shit. He could have
being a fuckboy, yeah.
Or like,
because Yosef's gonna be a fuckboy. We can already tell. He's got that vibe. I think Tyler didn't stand out to me in any way, shape, or form. And also, I'll be honest, I have a bias against people from West Virginia. I just don't like it.
Burn. Okay.
I understand why they made her keep Yosef. Like that was like the little bit of drama at the end of like her picking him as the last pick. But it fell flat for me. Like I felt like the rose ceremony fell really flat. Where a lot of times I feel like even that first night it has like a little bit more action of like, oh, like who is she gonna keep or like whatever. But like it just fell a little flat for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like he was trying to be the hero right away. Like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this with Yosef, and I'm gonna really make sure these guys are here for Claire. It's like, cut the bullshit. No one cares about that. She can figure it out on her own. Every single person who does that every season, it ends up being
exactly
it ends up being a negative impact. Mm-hmm. So just stop.
It just brings like a negative like energy and attention to you. Like, don't even put yourself in you put yourself in that muddy pond. Like, it's like don't and you can't get it off now. It's and you're home. Like, so it's like. I thought that was like sad to see him just like and you could tell when he was like leaving, he was like, oh man, like something happened in that conversation with Claire that just like that everything turned against me. And he was like, this is so disappointing. Like, it is disappointing for someone. Like I said, I think he's a good looking guy. Like I felt like he should have made it further than probably other people, but
yeah.
What else?
She saw the BS.
Yeah.
I think touching on the rose ceremony, like Veronica mentioned. So I still find it fascinating. And I tweeted this last night that they still, every season, the lead doesn't talk to everyone. And I just think, I know it takes forever, but they film until the next morning when the sun is risen.
Yeah, they film all night long. So if they're like, that's my thing is like, what's the point of not even giving her the chance?
Yeah, every season they always say at the end, "I'm sorry I didn't get to speak to all of you."
I think so. Like, I think that's a production thing because they want characters on the show. They want people that stand out, like that are outgoing, that talk, and like give good TV. You're gonna have like you think you're doing that in casting and stuff, and you're like, yeah, they're hyping you up. You're like, I'm gonna kill it. But then you get in that house, and then there's 30 other fucking guys that are like showing up clean, or just like you start getting intimidated, and there's like other assertive men that are just like taking the time and going up to her and stuff, and some people are just like kind of waiting in to cut, and then maybe it's just too late. Then you just never have an opportunity. Like it's just like she goes away, and you're like, damn it! In like 10 minutes, I was gonna go up and like. So I could see how it happens, but I mean, it's kind of like the cream of the crop,
I guess, but then it's interesting that they always keep a few that they never even spoke to. Like I remember Damar, I think was his name. He was like all worried. He was like, I didn't even get to talk to her because of the drama with Yosef and Tyler, which I think that's a dumb excuse.
Yeah,
like you could have gone and gotten her probably. But.
I think that's production picking. Do you guys hear that production gets to pick like a couple picks early on and stuff? And especially now with like the diversity stuff they're trying to push on the show, like I'm sure there's like, yo, we can't let all the black people go in the first, like, so let's keep, I'm sure there's some type of shit happening like that in the background.
I want to check myself on what I just said. I was making it seem like it's easy to go grab the lead, like Damar could have just gone and talked to her. But I have heard that the producers basically approve of you going up to the lead. So sometimes it looks like, oh, they stole them away. But the producers are saying, yeah, you can go back. You can go steal her again because they want to like promote tension and drama and stuff. But I don't think you're allowed to just go without asking before.
Interesting.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah, it is like, it's like literally like asking for permission to like go to the bathroom for them.
Mm-hmm. So what else stood out from first night. Like it was kind of like for as much drama as they were like talking about, like that's coming. It was kind of like not that much different. Like the show didn't feel that much different. Yeah,
I thought it was a little flat, like you said, Veronica. I love Claire. I am a big fan of her, but I was laughing at how many times she was like, these guys showed up. You know, I just wanted them to show up. Showed up. And that was like her quote of the night was show up. And just how like philosophical she was, like, you know, the sacrifices that everybody made for my journey for love. And she like starts crying. And I get it. Like, she is awesome. She's been waiting for her moment. And I so hope that Dale, it works out. But I was just laughing at like the motivational speaking and like the tears. And
that's what
even
I'm saying.
Just like how she would present the roses felt very, like, as you were saying, Sai, felt kind of very rehearsed, but they also just felt very like, will you accept this rose? Like, it just felt like
this is not her first rodeo, guys. Like, she's been on both sides of this. She's been, you know, she's been like, you know, higher up in cast when it was like, you know, group shows and stuff, and she's had seasons to like study each bachelorette, so she's doing her best version of the Bachelorette. That's what I'm seeing her doing like right now. This is the performance of a lifetime for her. So
what did you think of her dress, Kelly? Because there's a lot of mixed feelings about it.
I'll tell you my perspective as a guy. First off, I feel like it won't age well. Like
it already doesn't age well. It looks like the purses, the big sequin purses we had back in like 2007. Yes. 2005. And honestly, like, it made her titties look weird.
Yes. She is beautiful.
She is beautiful.
Yeah, no, my friend Colton, he couldn't stop being like, that woman's body is wonderful. I was just like, that's a funny way to say she's hot. Like, you know.
It was so weird though. Whoever the stylist was, it was such a strange choice because it hit her boobs very strange. The side had like weird fabric on the side of the boobs, and then the ties around her neck were those long tassels that hung down.
It looked
her
like
back.
she was wearing a training bra underneath the dress or something like that. That's what it looked like.
My thing is, like, if I had those long tassels hanging down my back, I would be just playing with them. Like, there would be no way I could.
It looked like I would wear that for prom 10 years ago.
Right.
Yes.
But,
I don't know, but you know, that's not considered sequence, was it? What was that?
Yes, they were mirrors. They were like giant mirrored sequins. I don't know.
You know, the Bachelor and Bachelorette love their sequence, so
always on opening night. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I think, you know, they did a good job of not making it seem like Dale was like, that was what I was looking for. Like, I was looking for more Dale, but like they didn't showcase him too much. Also, like, when, like, I mean, obviously he got the first impression rose that was going to come. Another thing that happened in the house was the guy that you know, that we talked about it a little earlier, but you know, he got the first kiss, right? The one that broke the rules. I thought it was that was a pretty interesting like part where she was just talking about like breaking the rules and stuff like that. And you know,
I liked him.
Yeah,
I liked him too. Genuine. Like, I think that he has good intentions. Can we talk about the Dale kiss? Did anyone else squirm?
I didn't see the Dale kiss. I must have.
Yes, you. How did you miss it?
I don't know. I didn't. I looked away for 1 second. My bad.
It was a lot.
She went in, but he awkwardly backed away, and then he leaned in, and she was like, and then they finally kissed, and it was so awkward.
Oh my God! Why? What do you think was going on in that moment?
She was like I mean, I think he's equally into her, hopefully. But like
ready to jump his bounds.
Yes. And he was like, didn't know that she was going in for it. So he like leaned back to say something. And then he realized like she was coming in for a kiss. So then he went back in, but she was like, what? And then they finally kissed.
Was it beautiful after that?
It was beautiful.
Okay. It was great. It was great after that. I've been following Dale for a couple of years because he was on one of my other favorite podcasts. And he's a former football player. He played briefly on the Bears and then briefly on the Packers. And he's just so fine. And now to see him on my TV every week for who knows how many weeks. Like, I don't even know how many weeks to guess that it'll be Claire before it switches.
It can't be that many. Like I was expecting it to happen tonight. Like the first night.
I'm thinking it'll be like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I think it'll be 3 episodes. I think like 3 or 4.
I don't know, guys. Like I feel like maybe this is my own insecurities coming out, but I feel like weird that they just plant like the hottie in the cast. It's like not fair. Like every season, it's always the hottie. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
No, it's the hottie every time. Like it's like the first guy.
There's a lot of really attractive people.
No. It's the hottie though. The hottie.
Okay, but wait a second. That guy Brandon was. I would say he's on par.
Which one's Brandon?
I would say he's on par as well. And I'm thinking of other past seasons, and like I would never have guessed Jordan to be the hottie for like JoJo season. I think they look beautiful together.
He was the hottie for JoJo season from the
Robbie
beginning.
was technically the hottie.
No,
yeah,
Robbie
he had the hair when the
a-
hair was like blowing up and stuff. Like, dude, he was the hottie on that season the whole time.
Yeah, I never thought of Ryan as that much of a hottie for Rachel's season, but I think I was a little bit. I liked Peter
the hottie on her season was Peter.
Yeah,
Peter was so hot, still is. But Brian,
he was so hot that he messed it up. Like he was so hot that like he was gonna get picked, and he didn't even want to get picked. That's how hot he was. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Kelly. I was just on my hot rant right now.
No, they're all very hot. But that Brandon guy last night, I think he would have stood more of a chance if he wasn't so young, because he was only like 28.
Yeah.
But he's beautiful.
No, I know but you know what I'm saying, y'all.
I think Easy's really hot too. There's a lot of hotties.
Yes.
I don't know.
Easy is very hot.
But guys, I'm talking from the guy perspective. You guys are the girls. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, all of them are hot. Oh God, but I'm saying from a guy's perspective watching the show that the guy that's going to get picked by her is the hottie on the show. Like it just is. And to me, I feel like it's like that's the plant, right? That's the plant that they put in the show to attract like more viewers and to like make it this like dream wedding at the end.
I'm sure they have to cast people to be attractive. Yeah.
What about Hannah Brown's season? Did you? She definitely didn't pick the hottie.
Which one was the hottie in her season?
Jed. She picked Jed.
She picked Jed.
She didn't have a hottie on her season.
Tyler Cameron.
Which one?
Tyler Cameron was the hottie.
Oh yeah, Tyler Cameron was the hottie. Yo, that guy was the hottie. Yeah, she just messed up. I don't know what the hell happened with that.
Have y'all seen their new YouTube channels and their videos together?
They're doing videos together? I can't stand them. I really can't. I can't stand Hannah. I don't know why. She just like...
I love her.
Do you? I don't know why. You even can't...
No, they did a whole video like talking about like friends or not or like whatever.
So what is it? Like, I'm sick of this.
So they said that when they quarantined together that they didn't even kiss. That they actually...
Same bed together though?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh... They said that
That's
they
just
actually
weird.
got on
Like,
each
don't give
other's
me that
nerves.
information. I don't want to know that there's people out there living and breathing and just sleeping next to the hotties and just never kissing. It's just freaking weird ass world.
How can you not kiss if you're both so attractive? And I'm sure they were drinking and like.
I would lose my mind.
How can you not kiss Tyler Cameron if you're sleeping
like Hannah B must have not.
Lick Tyler Cameron's abs. Like,
Okay, calm down, buddy, calm down. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that Hannah B did not sleep that whole quarantine. Like, she was just laying there in bed restless. If they didn't do anything, she was just sleeping over there. I mean, I'm sure Tyler didn't get any rest either. That's what I don't like about sleeping with girls.
Just died, so yeah, I'm sure
as a single guy, like, it's like a weird thing to have a girl come sleep over because it's like I never sleep. I can't sleep because I'm like I got a girl in my bed. Like, it's crazy. But sorry, mom. But no. But yeah. So I mean, there was only 2 kisses in the house that night. Was that all that we saw?
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Dale and Blake Moyne.
Blake. I was very impressed with that kiss. That kind of showed a little. I thought that was a little bit of a bone that Claire was throwing, that she was actually like into this process. Like, I think she did get a little check from Chris. Was like, we still have more guys, so calm down, you know. So I think she was like back on to, I got to give these people a chance. But anything else kind of stand out to you guys? Like, what did the trailer previews like? Kind of, where were those different? and before the show and like the trailers that are coming for the upcoming season, like what were your guys' takeaways? Start with you, Kelly.
I think I'm interested to see the guys' reactions to all of this. So like
Me too.
they tease that where they're like freaking out, and I'm just curious to see like if they're going to be understanding at all, if they're going to be like still super competitive, and I'm also curious about them trying to villainize Dale. So they're like,
I don't know.
Claire
I
doesn't
want to know
the
like
real
what
Dale.
dirt they have. Yeah, I want to know what dirt they have.
I don't think it's
have
like
any.
I think a person like Dale, it's gonna come with like hate, but also like you don't become like a person like Dale without like being, you know, having traits of, you know, being
That
I don't know.
Hottie hate. You know?
He just like doesn't give a fuck of like what you think. You know, he has his way of thinking. It's gotten him pretty far. You know, you're not gonna tell him anything. He looks good. You know, so it's like. I think it's more of just like, oh, they'll probably be like, you know, I've heard about him. He's a player and all this stuff and all that type of junk. But, I'm interested to see how he acts. Like they're like off camera, he acts one way and then the cameras come around and he's like perfect or something. So, I mean, we've heard that story before and I definitely, I mean, I think that's just a person that knows when to be on and when to be off. Like you're not going to be on. I hate when they're just like, you're not the same. It's like, no, I'm not the same, man. There's like millions of people watching me at home, you asshole.
Yeah, like I'm exhausted. Like when the camera's not on me, I'm going to like take a chill pill.
Yeah. So, you know, I also think, do you guys think like she has sex with him on the show?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the sexual energy from the first moment, it's 100%
How
there.
bad
like,
do you want sex that you're just going to like ruin the show? I just don't understand.
Okay, well, they've been in quarantine forever. This woman has been waiting for her dream man for 39 years. Hey, let's see. I think she goes for it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, do you think she's like, I mean, some people would equate the chance to being the Bachelorette as just as much as finding their dream man, right? Like they're like, I'd rather be on the Bachelorette and get, because like I don't know, like I feel like you still like the process is so already fast and all this stuff. Like it's like you have to give it as much time as you possibly can. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally see both sides because a lot of people like Sean Lowe, he said that he's one of the people that didn't know on night one, like who he was super into. And he said Catherine kind of snuck up on him. And obviously they're one of the only successful people from the actual Bachelor. Bachelor
says a lot about the men. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think that like for him, you know, if he would have dipped out early, he wouldn't be with Catherine, I don't think.
You know,
so
I think like the way the guys are gonna feel about this, like have you guys ever liked someone like you like them so much, but the second they like hook up with like somebody else that you know, you're like fuck them. Like, you know, and you're like,
yeah, for sure.
And that's exactly what happens when these like leads end up having sex like with one of the cast members on the show. It's like I don't understand, like that's complete disrespect. Like I for the process and for everybody that's there, I feel like. So and
that also just breaks down the whole like how sex is so like stigmatized in this show in general, which I've never really agreed with because like they treat it like very taboo and very specific to moments, and I think that's not real. I mean, this whole show isn't realistic.
It's just
to how
unfair. You can't like it's just like I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
like in a situation where like you know
you.
someone that had sex with someone like your friend, and they what if they didn't tell you they had sex with them? Like I mean, it's no one's business, I guess. But then it's just a matter of like kind of like a code, right? Like if like you know each other.
What about if you think of it more in a real life scenario? So you are dating 3 different girls at the same time because you're awesome. How
do you know? It's 4 actually, but no one's counting.
Okay, 4. You sleep with.
I'm joking.
You sleep with 2 of them because you know you're feeling it. Things are going great, but you're not going to tell the other 2, and you're not technically disrespecting the other 2, right? Because you're still maybe going to see where things go with them.
I do love this example, but you have to like you can't like ignore the fact that it does affect it. Like if you have sex with one of the girls and you don't have sex with the other girl, like in a guy's mind sometimes it could be like not that like the girl is easy, but like the other girl might be more of a challenge and you kind of like want it, like you're like, I don't know, it's like a weird thing. Like I don't know what to say.
Hey, I'm with you. I personally couldn't do that. It would mess me up in the brain so much. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
No, I feel you, and that's why we have you on the show here, Kelly. But yeah, no, and I'm doing the same as well. Like, you know, I think it's just one of those things, and that's like a real life example. 2-3 girls, that already is like sounding like a lot for me. Like I get real. I'm like I can't do it. I can't juggle this. Like, you know, I have a conscience. Like I can't be like talking to this girl and like trying to be sweet because I'm being sweet to this girl. It's just like weird.
Yeah.
And imagine that times fucking 10. It's and that's what she's dealing with right now. So I think like the stakes are even higher when you're on that platform. So I that's why I kind of look at it kind of like disrespectful.
It's just going to come down to like how,
especially with the fact that like she said that these guys extra long quarantines, like the process is probably already grueling to be a cast member on the show, but during this time it must have been like a bitch. Like, you know, people probably legit put their like careers to the side even harder. Like they're like, dude, it's Bachelorette or bust now. Like I'm sure most of them. So I just think like the stakes are even higher this season, for all around respect. And it's COVID. Like you can't be having sex out here and expect me to be like trying to kiss you.
We don't know if she does have sex, so we'll see. We might be like expecting this and it never happens.
Yeah, it's good. Makes for good podcast conversation. But but yeah, I mean, hopefully they didn't tease anything about the Taisha entrance. I guess. Well, they did kind of. What did they say?
Because they're under the impression, even though we all know that it's going to be Tayshia next, they're under the impression that like we don't know, like how they've been promoting, like how they've been promoting it in general is that, you know, there's going to be someone else coming in, but we all know who it is. But like because like they've never really confirmed that, like they're going to keep up this charade of it just being like, well, someone else is coming in. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, we know who it is. It's kind of
silly. Yeah. I feel like I'm wondering what's the mindset behind that marketing, because you would think like they'd want more people behind it and like super stoked about Tayshia because everyone loves her. I do. I think most people do.
Maybe it's an opportunity to re-promote. Like it's like maybe like when she does come on, they'll just be like, "There's a new Bachelorette." Like 3 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now, like the show is just starting up again or something. Which
and maybe out of respect for Claire to like not take her spotlight right away.
Oh, dude, I'm sure she's gonna get a bunch of hate. Like she did mildly decent, like looking all right the first episode, but I don't know how long she can hold it together. Like she is, I feel like. She does have a maturity about her, but she also has like I think she's kind of gotten like an ego or something, which, you know, comes along with being the Bachelorette, but like she definitely has some type of ego thing happening.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, she's a Bachelorette, like, you know, of course, like now it's like you got picked. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. V, is there any other like Bachelor like related news going on right now?
Yeah, I wanted to just, before we get you out of here, Kelly, I wanted to get your opinions on how Luke, speaking of all the contract stuff, Luke P is getting charged $100,000 for breaching his contract. Because he had, you know, made some unauthorized media appearances and things like that during the time period when he was not allowed to.
I think it is so him. Like, if one person's going to do this, it's so Luke P. I feel like he thinks he's above everything. I can't with him. Apparently he went, like last year I went to UGA and apparently he did like a presentation there of like motivational speaking. I'm like, who would go listen to him? And
I don't know.
People just want to get a selfie with him or something, probably. But
oh god, I would never. That sounds so mean.
That's
of me,
a lot of freaking money. Like, if that's for real, like this dude like owes $100,000. Like,
it's for real. It's for real.
How's he gonna get that? He's gonna get a loan or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, that's ridiculous.
And then the other one was that Madison Pruitt is supposedly dating Denver Nuggets player Michael Porter Jr., who my connection to Michael Porter Jr. is that he went to my college, Mizzou, to play, and he was playing basketball there. And then, he left early to be drafted, but he was seen around Columbia, Missouri, where Mizzou is, going out with her and, going around different places. So it's just obviously like they must have like some sort of like basketball connection because that's like her world.
Dude, everyone just sliding in DMs. That's all it is. Like, oh, you popping in the city? I'm popping too. And then you saw how
you don't pop in Columbia, Missouri. All right. There's no popping into Columbia, Missouri. It's middle of Missouri. There's nothing there. He took her on a date to Las Margaritas, which is a shitty like Mexican restaurant.
Are they both from there?
No, he's from there, but I think his family just all moved there when they were like a little bit younger, because then all him and his sisters all like competitively have played basketball to some degree. But like
well,
he
if he
had
doesn't
to
ball for Jesus,
bring her home there.
If he don't ball for Jesus, then he ain't going to get on this team. So we'll see how that goes down. But Kelly, what's going on for you guys? Like, what's the future for the new married couple and everything?
We are gonna try to start looking for a house sometime soon, like maybe 2020.
Yeah.
But Atlanta prices,
right.
So I don't know what to expect. Starting my new videos back for Claire's season. I gotta try to find some time for that because with teaching and the whole virtual COVID stuff, it takes a lot more time, and I'm babysitting. I have this precious little baby girl that I babysit 2 days a week. I just love her. So my schedule is full, but I like to be busy. I actually feel less stressed when I'm busy. Is that weird?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird stress to be stressed out because you don't have anything going on. So I would agree.
Right. Like if I'm just sitting around, I'm like stressed. Like, what should I be doing?
Right.
So
that's a good point.
I need to film. I might do the guys tonight, like film those clips, and then film Claire tomorrow because I gotta get makeup on and do my hair and all that. It's a whole process.
Yeah.
But
when that's all done, where can people find that so that they can watch your awesome recaps?
So my YouTube channel is Kelly Johns Official. And then Instagram is just Kel Johns, KELLJOHNS. My Twitter is Kelly M. Johns. But hopefully you can just find me by searching my name. I don't know. I should probably have like the same username for everything.
Well, we'll definitely be sending people your way from wherever we be posting. So
thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you a round of applause once again for being on this show. Kelly Johns, you are the shit. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you. Y'all are the shit.
Thank you. And we can't wait to have you back here probably like a couple episodes from now just to, see how the videos are going and, get your input on what all the craziness of this new season. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again.
Yes.
All right, cool. I think we got it, guys. That was a good interview. Thank you.
It's always great to have Kelly on to talk about stuff, even like how much we hate Claire's dress. So
yeah,
it's always great to have someone else who gets it.
She does get it. So why don't we get into our slapper of the week? I was kind of struggling to find a slapper this week.
I was about to say, I was like, ooh, when I was like looking at this past week's like new music and stuff like that, I'm like, I hope Sai has something picked out because I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like leaving it till last minute because then I feel like we have like some bullshit. I mean, I've always liked the songs that we play, but like I like to think about it.
Sometimes,
bit.
There's been a couple that we've slid in there that I'm like, meh.
Yeah, like last week.
We did it.
But essentially, I've been making music a lot and like some inspirations. Like I would be calling it like lo-fi pop. That's kind of like when I've been showing you stuff, it's like sometimes it's like haunting and all this stuff.
That's yeah.
So Joji is an artist that I've been drawing a lot of inspiration from. It's it's really lo-fi beats and simple songwriting, but it's still beautiful. And yeah, he just released an album this past week, or what, like about 2 weeks ago or something. And this song is on it. I honestly didn't want to like Joji. People kept like, he's just one of those people that people do know of and listen to, but this one is good. It's called Your Man, and it's by Joji. So without further ado, let's go.
Slapper of the week. This song slaps.
Yeah, ends with some vocoder. That's or it's Joji, Your Man, Slapper of the week. Yeah, it's a vibe. V, you got any shout outs this week?
I do. Okay. I wanted to shout out my friend Hannah for her birthday. Happy birthday, Hannah. And then I wanted to shout out my friend Chelsea for finally getting engaged.
Finally?
Because I say finally. Okay, the reason why I say finally is because this girl she already booked our friend Amber to be her wedding photographer, and she was doing a boudoir session with her, and like whatever, and they were doing, how it happened was they were doing couple pictures together, and that's how he proposed to her. But like they already have some stuff planned, so that's why the missing piece was the actual engagement, was the ring. So that's why I say finally.
Yeah. Don't worry, Chelsea. You can say the same thing then when she gets engaged. Be like, V, finally.
No. She literally said it when she posted the video. She said, I'm finally engaged. Because she knew, most of us knew that this was it was about to happen.
Yeah.
But.
Well, congratulations. Happy birthday, Hannah. I wanted to give some birthday shout outs. I want to shout out my boy, George Massa. Or also, aka George Spitz of the Llama Beats crew. That's the homie, and he's actually moving. Like, oh my gosh, that's not a nickname. And he's moving from LA to North Carolina, so he's gonna be a lot closer, and we can probably make music again. So I'm very happy about that. And then also, I wanted to give a birthday shout out to Alyssa Sullivan. I met her through my friend Sterling, and I was going through birthdays, and hers was one of the ones I was like, I'm going to start shouting out people because I'm sick of just like not shouting out people. I know, because you literally recently said that no one else has, you said people haven't deserved to shout out for me recently. I know. Well, Alyssa deserves one, and I think I was going through a dark time. So you're like, no one gets shout out for me. A dark time. Yeah. So dark, yeah, happy birthday, guys. Her birthday's on Friday, so I just wanted to give a shout out there. But so yeah, I'm back in the shout out game. Wow, we're excited to have you back. Welcome back. Giving people their props. Yes, it's nice to see it. Yeah, I'm trying to be more positive. But yeah, V. So yeah, I guess that's been our show. What a fun one. Thanks again to Kelly Johns for being on the show. Make sure to check out her videos. She's funny, and she'll be back again. V, got any fun plans for this weekend? Oh yeah, you do. Or I don't know if it's considered fun, but. It is fun. It's exciting. I'm closing on my condo. Oh! When you guys are probably listening to this, I might be doing that. Shout out to V! Cool. Oh, yeah. Well, congratulations. That's really cool. And anything else planned? Anything fun? Maybe we hang out? Maybe we can hang out? Huh? Yeah, we could probably do that. That's cool. I thought it was going to cough. But I didn't. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. We're back on that Bachelorette train, so we'll be talking about it moving forward. We're excited. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm glad to have something back on TV every week to talk to you guys about. So, it's funny too because I feel like some of our listeners, like I don't know, we'll get like messages sometimes like where they're like, "You only talked about that Colt and Cassie thing for like 2 minutes." It's like, I don't know. Maybe you guys are missing the point of the show. It's like pop culture And we'll talk about The Bachelor when it's on. And as much as we want to talk about it, like I don't know. I feel like there's more things we want to talk about in this world. Not all that important, but you know what I mean. Well, guys, that's been our show. We love you. Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
Oh, look how excited she is. A lot better. All right, well, guys, you know what it is. Deuces!
Bye!
Future Bachelor Podcast.